Okay, since you know the height, you know how many steps, you know the width on all of your steps, then kind of a simple way is you can buy a 12-foot, 16-foot piece of a 1 by 4, excuse me, 1 by 12, because that's going to be a whole lot lighter to fool around than it is with a 2 by. And make your first, go ahead and draw out all your measurements. But your first one's going to come like this. Something similar to this. And then this one's going to come all the way down to here, but you're going to cut this off. So this gets cut off. That gets cut off. Okay, now you got your 1 by 12. Don't cut out any of your stairs. You just want just the top and the bottom cut. That's all you want. This is still just a 1 by 12, but you have the top and the bottom cut off. You can just take this in and just lay it up against the wall in case you've got everything framed ready to go, just to see if it's coming out right. Now, you know you're going to have to cut off the bottom of this, so you need to know the height of your material that's going to go on your steps, and you need to make sure that your top floor has been floored, or at least you know the material that's going up there. Once you get this right, then you've got this as a template to lay on your 2 by 12s. And then plus 2, you can see if you can get through the house with this 16-foot board, if that's the case. Let's go outside and do some measurements. Okay, before we go outside and lay stuff out on a board, let me explain one thing. When you get, you'll need a framing square, and you can buy these blocks that go on a framing square so that you can get the exact same difference, because what you need is your square. And what you're going to do, you're going to have your square and one side is going to be set at 10 inches. The other side is going to be set at 7 5/16. So you'll have your 2 blocks on either side of your square. Don't put one on the outside and then one on the inside, because it won't come out right. Alright, let's go outside. I'm going to try to do the best I can showing this. You can see this side I've got 7 5/16. And then if we go over here to the other side, you can see I have 10 inches. So what we're going to do is we're going to make that mark across that square, and then each one of them all the way down our board is going to be the same. Okay, I've got it laid out on the opposite side so that you can see what I'm doing. 7, this is the 10, and the 7 5/16. Now with the same exact measurements, we need to come in starting it here at the 7 5/16 to 10. You want to make sure your points are at a point. If you go up a little too much, you come down a little much, you're going to start throwing your stairs off. And if you do that, 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch in 15 stairs, next thing you know, you're losing an inch or more. Again, 7 5/16 and a 10. We're going to do that all the way down. Remember the point. Stairs are something that need to be pretty much exact, because if you get a permit, the city guy is going to want them perfect. If you're going to bootleg it, you can miss by an inch. Alright, we've come to our last step. Now we need to get our bottom riser. This is no different, come right from the point. And you want to come down 7 5/16. 7 5/16. Put you a mark. Square your square up on this one. It's got to be perfect. Don't forget. Get it on your pencil mark. Pencil mark right here. Draw it back. Okay. And remember, later I said that we're going to cut off whatever the height of our tread is going to be. We need to cut it off the bottom, so just make some kind of a note. You don't want to do it now, because this is going to be your template. Now let's go to the top. Top's a little bit more simpler. Take your top line and just draw it right straight across, and that's it. So this gets cut out, this gets cut out. Let's get our saw. Notice I got my safety glasses on. I'm going to back this camera up so we don't get a bunch of sawdust in here, since I don't have a protective lens. First cut, we'll get rid of that. And our first one. Okay, flip it around. This is the bottom section. Okay, now we got our bottom section. Okay, now what we've got, okay, now we see we're at the top floor, and then that's the lower floor. That's just our sample piece. And then what you would do is, once you get it set, then you would put a level here at the very top to see if you're coming out right, because now this is the time you want to do all your adjustments, because you could be off a 1/2 inch, 1/4 of an inch, because you may have made a mistake in between there somewhere at one of your points, you know, because like I say, all your points have to be exactly to the point. There is no give and take on this. Alright, I'm going to finish cutting out the rest of these. That lumber's been sitting out quite a while, so it was a little hard to cut. But anyway, okay, we got our stairs. We got them cut. Now, the first thing I was going to show you is, you remember I was talking about the riser on the very first step. Okay, if we add 1 inch to that, then that 7 5/16 is going to come out to be almost 8 inches. That's why you need to cut that bottom off to lower it down to the right height for your first step. And then, here again, once you get your template up in there, you can check everything before you actually lay this on your 2x12 and start cutting. Now what I'm going to do now is lay the tread and the riser on a couple of these so you can understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, let me do the top 2 steps. We're going to start off, I just got some pieces that we're going to use for tread and risers, so we can kind of... Okay, the first thing is we got our top riser. Now there again, if there's nothing going here, then you don't have to do anything. But if you haven't put your trim piece up there yet, this would be it. Okay, so our first tread is going to go right here. But now, like I was saying, you can see the overhang. Okay, we should have an inch overhang, which we do, but this is what I was talking about. If this is finished, then what you need to do is you need to cut the back of this off, because if you put in your next riser, you can see you just lost your inch overhang. So what it means is that this comes out to the right amount, and then you put your finish piece along the top. That would go against the framing on your wall for the last step before you get to your floor upstairs. Okay, we've got our last tread. Now let's go to the next tread. Now you can see how much we've got. We got almost, may have to nail these things. Now we're back down to our 1 inch. Okay, our next tread. See, we just got our next tread in. You can see how complicated this can be. Now we need to go